Welcome back here at GOMTV.net. Tastes and Artosis about to bring you our final best of 3, the only non-mirror matchup.
That's right, Tasteless, and I think it's going to be probably the best one of the day.
You
Trap
could be right.
Against KangHo, I think that's a good match. I'm going with KangHo. I mean, not KangHo, Trap. Who are you going with?
Trap. I'm going to Trap as well.
Yeah. I'm going with KangHo losing.
You're like, I'm going with KangHo. No, wait, no, I mean I'm going with Innovation. Wait, no. So, this is going to be a good match. Trap's got a really cool way of playing.
Yeah,
KangHo's really good. There's something about when you cast KangHo's games as long as we have. He's always playing really well, but I'm never really thinking this guy's going to be the next champion.
No, certainly not. If I had to choose one player as a Protoss player that exactly has a style that should beat KangHo, stylistically speaking, not with skill levels, but stylistically, it would be Trap.
That
Trap
makes sense.
always has a super planned, aggressive strategy prepared that he executes very well. And I feel like that's exactly what Lucira's weakness is. There's some weird area in the mid-game where if Lucira's going to lose, that's where he loses.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Trap is. So I'm feeling this is going to be a 2-0 or a 2-1 for Trap.
Yeah, I think it might be a 2-0. I don't want it to be, but Trap's really good. And I agree with you. I feel like his Trap's playstyle counters pretty well the way Lucira plays. I think that's a really good way to put it. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. Well, we will see in a little bit here. Newkirk Precinct is our first map.
Yes.
Definitely a map that if it gets to the late game is going to be pretty good with Swarm Host, really.
That's very, very true. But, if you're a Protoss player going into this and you know that that's an issue, you're going to do everything in your power to not allow that situation to happen. So you're going to have a build, a strategy that effectively counters that.
Yeah. So, I think that what we're going to probably see from Trap, like he could go up to 3 bases, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a 2-base, very aggressive type of play, whether that is some sort of Zealot warp in with Phoenixes, something like that, or perhaps just go into what he's like very, very good at, which is Phoenixes into an Immortal Colossus all in with a fake third.
Yeah. I like that. I couldn't agree more, actually. We got Newkirk Precinct here as our map, and this is such a funky map, too.
I like it. I've always liked all the Newkirk maps for Protoss. I feel pretty comfy on them.
Here's a little bit of a closer look at Trap. And, of course, here's a closer look here at KangHo. I didn't realize KangHo was that high ranked.
Yeah, he did very well last season, and, he is a consistent
I did well. I just didn't realize he was that high up, so we'll see.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Artosis?
I'm doing really well. I think the matches have been pretty good.
Normally when we have a bunch of mirror matchups, it can be kind of an eyeball roller.
Yeah.
Today was actually awesome so far. And I think this match is going to be our best yet, too. So,
yeah, I do agree with that. Best for last tonight here, Tasteless.
Absolutely.
I was a little bit sad about that last PvP set, because I don't like to see the build order losses in PvP. You don't learn too much out of those.
Exactly. It's for you and me as Protoss players, I could already tell you, okay, proxy Stargate against a guy who just made a Stargate in his base. This is not good for the guy that wasted all this.
One sits with 2 Phoenixes in there, the other makes an Oracle. It's like,
and for me, I'm like, I'm not going to learn anything, but I guess some of our viewers will be like, oh, okay, well, that's when 2 guys go for very specific strats and one just counters the other one.
One guy starts up 300 gas is what that is.
It's actually very true.
And a whole tech tree up and 300 gas. It's like, ugh.
Here are the stats we have. We got these not mathematically from the games, but we pulled our esports journalists who have to watch basically every game, what they thought the players were ranked at, and then we took the average.
Seems pretty reasonable for those numbers. I can't complain too much on that.
Yeah. So we're pretty close to starting this. You think it's going to be a 2-0?
Definitely could be a 2-0.
Definitely could be.
I'm leaning towards it being 2-0, but of course 2-1 wouldn't surprise me. KangHo's a great player.
Oh, he's very good. And, KangHo could win. I just expect Trap to win based off of, the play style, like you said.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, tell your friends to tune in here. Link them in to our cast. A lot of people don't know that we're actually covering this because this is a piggyback stream on GameNet, so let people know. They can watch Tasteosis
Yay!
Cats in the game. Cats in the game they love.
That's exactly what they can watch. It's pretty fantastic.
So, yeah, we haven't gotten the countdown started yet, but we should soon.
So,
how have you been liking this whole experience of being on the main stage here?
Well,
Normally we're up that way in the crow's nest.
You know what's the cool thing is that we actually get an audience that just hears us directly, that we can see it, we can talk to a little bit, and
I'm looking at him right now. So
yeah. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks, guys. You're the best.
No, that's always a fun thing to have an audience there for you.
Yeah. And it looks like, okay, cool. We don't have to kill any more time. The game is now loading up here. Again, KangHo, formerly known as Lucira. In case you're thinking, I recognize that guy, but I don't recognize that ID. That's who he is. All right, let's get this going here at GOMTV.net. Wow. In the bottom left, starting location, we have our Protoss player with a very unique play style. He is
new challenger, STXO Trap.
He always gets bottom left PVZ here.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
In the bottom right, old school, known as Lucira before, he is
Master, LGIM KangHo.
All right, and we're going to have a fast expand here for Trap.
That's pretty common.
Whenever I see Trap, I either think, I'm going to activate my Trap card, or I think
it's Trap.
It's a Trap.
Yeah.
By the way, I just watched Star Wars Episode 4 again.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Empire Strikes Back.
You know what I've actually been
this weekend?
kind of like half watching recently?
What?
The old Star Treks.
How are they actually? I'm not really familiar with the Star Trek.
Good. I mean, I really liked them as a kid.
Are you talking about like the old ones?
No,
like,
the Next Generation.
Who's the captain?
Picard.
Okay, Picard. All right, that was a good Star Trek series. That one.
Yeah, I know. It's like all on Netflix and stuff. So I just kind of chill and it's like on when I'm going relaxing, and then I'm like playing Candy Crush on my phone, like Star Trek on in the background, then just turn over and go to sleep.
That's how to do it.
That's how nerds roll.
So when I was watching Empire Strikes Back, I realized something. I want to share it with everybody that's watching.
Okay.
Because I had a revelation. Darth Vader is such a hard worker.
Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. I'm like, no.
No, I mean, think about this.
Hard worker.
He's actually on the ship where they capture Princess Leia. This is a hands-on guy, okay?
Yeah.
He's on the ship to get Princess Leia, okay? He goes to that room. That guy actually embarrasses him in the meeting room.
Yeah.
Says, no one believes in your old religion, Lord Vader. I mean, that's just an embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
He already has to walk around in that suit, and he's trouble really force chokes the guy.
Yeah.
He's there when they blow up the planet. Mm-hmm. What happens when the Death Star's attacked?
He gets in a ship, and he gets out there and starts kicking ass.
He gets in a ship, he goes out there.
You're actually completely right. He's a hard worker.
This is actually a hard worker.
This guy puts in effort.
He puts in a lot of hard work.
Yeah, no, he cares about the outcome here at Tasteless.
Yeah.
You think the Rebel Alliance is working hard? Every time I see them, they're sitting down.
Yeah.
They're in the Hoth headquarters. Like, well, it's cold out. We're not going to go look for Luke. And they close the door.
Yeah.
Darth Vader would have been out in a jet finding it.
Exactly.
God,
Darth Vader is such a hard worker. He actually gets into his own, by the way, really pimped out TIE fighter. Mm-hmm. Okay, the wings are bent a little bit different. It kind of goes with his helmet.
It's better aerodynamics for space.
Yeah. And he could have been killed if he wasn't such a hard worker. The Death Star got blown up, and he gets knocked away in his.
Does he die? No. A lesser man may have died. Not him, though.
Not him.
No, he finds his way back and then gets back to it.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the Empire together, Tasteless.
Let me tell you something,
Listen, there needs to be a governing body, Tasteless.
If I got my legs melted or whatever happens and got my face scarred, I would retire. Okay? I would get a nice place, somewhere not too hot like Tatooine.
Yeah.
Okay? I would take it easy, man. You got it. You know, the Empire's got to have
ambitious.
Good... He's ambitious. He's a worker. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. That was actually very enlightening.
He doesn't get enough appreciation.
It's you know what? Maybe on Thursday we'll talk about how Joffrey is the true king.
He is the one true king.
We'll leave that. We'll leave that.
People are like, oh, there's nasty rumor being spread around, but
rumors are rumors.
They don't have DNA tests back
No, they
then.
don't
You
have
can't prove
them.
that.
You can't prove anything. All right, so let's take a look at where this game's at, because the Cybernex core just finished. That was perfect timing, Tasteless.
That was, yeah.
Because, of course, any time that there is a Forge Fast Expand, Zerg will go 3 bases unless they're going all in. And it's a Stargate, which is exactly what I would expect from Trap here. Thing is, this Stargate doesn't actually tell us much. This can be all sorts of builds. This could be some sort of Sky Toss. Probably not that. Sky Toss not as good on this map. It could be some sort of like Zealot warp in with Phoenixes. It could be a 7-gate all in with Void Rays. But likely what it's going to be is some amount of Phoenixes, and then we'll try to figure out what's going on. Is he going to go all in? Is he going to take a 3rd base? Because Trap has a lot of builds that look pretty similar that he can do.
Yeah, that's very true. There's still a lot of different forks in the road here for Trap. Now, one thing to note is even when Zerg gets the 4th base, it's a little tricky to hold everything on this map for Zerg until they get like a massive spine crawler wall, because the 2nd base, easy to attack, as well as the 3rd. The 4th, again, another location you have to try to defend. So you want to have a lot of bio defense, not a lot of static defense on this map.
Yeah. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on here, because there's +1 on the way, and he's making multiple sentries right now. And he's adding the 3 gates. So when I saw the multiple sentries of Phoenixes, I thought this might be a Warp Prism Phoenix, but there's no Robo. Yeah, but there is +1 on the way. I wonder if we're actually... Okay, there is the Robo coming up. Now, he actually has 2... Oh, he has 2 sentries. This could be... No, there's the 3rd one. I'm trying to calculate here, because like if you get 2 sentries early on with 4 Phoenixes and the Robo, that means that it's going to be the double Mortal, double Colossus all in. But he's making more sentries. He's getting his 4th Phoenix. The Robo feels a little bit late for that all in. This might just be maybe a little bit of a pressure into a 3rd base.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We got the Phoenixes coming down here now, and they're going to go ahead and just do a little bit of scouting here, see if they can clean up any stray overlords. There's actually no more stray overlords over here, and we have a Zealot attack coming over here onto the 3rd.
Yep. And so far for units, we only have 5 Zerglings out with nothing else being made. So actually this Zealot attack is going to be very frightful indeed.
All right, Zealots now moving up here. The Queens could be in a lot of trouble. We have a 2nd warp in over here, but it's actually... Okay, it is headed towards the 3rd base.
Now, these drones have to fight, but you know what? They do start to run away a little bit. This is very, very dangerous. The Queen's taking a lot of damage. The double spores, though, are really minimizing what could have happened here.
Yeah, that's very true.
If there were
actually
2
really
spores,
nice control here.
That was pretty fantastic.
By KangHo. But that was 11 workers killed, too.
You're right. But there could have been a lot more damage there. He was caught completely with his Zerg trousers down.
Yeah, well said. Wow, not even killing an Overlord there.
He's going to continue to kill a few drones here and there. Doesn't want to lose any more Phoenixes. And there's a lot of drones on the way for KangHo. He is not deterred at all. He does not think that there's an all-in follow coming in. He's pretty much right. Well, actually, more gates being added. I wonder if those are safety gates.
It could be. Now we have the Spire on the way. And again, more drone kills here. What does the drone kill count at, by the way?
It's
19. Wow.
That is a lot.
That's sizable. And he's going to get these roaches here as well. Okay, that's good. He got the roaches away at least.
Now, if he's going to take a 3rd, he's going to have to take it very, very soon. But he's not yet. There we go. The 3rd Nexus does go down. Now, Trap sometimes goes fake 3rd Nexus. I don't think that's the case this time. This is just a little bit different from everything I've seen Trap do, but that might be part of the point, because everyone studies each other so heavily now.
Well, it looks like Protoss is probably not going to attack here since that 3rd Nexus is just now starting. He may be going out here to apply pressure. That's where you're making it look like you're going to attack. That scares his Zerg into not making more drones and maybe even making spine crawlers, more attacking units, and you could just turn around and go home.
Well, there's so few units actually out for KangHo right now that this could be a bit of an issue. He is making some corruptors, but he has so few actual units.
You actually make a very good point, Artos.
Oh my god, he actually this is like he has really skimped here.
Trap's going back now. Oh no, he's going back because this Nexus is under attack.
You know what? I feel like KangHo maybe got a little bit lucky there because he had 6 roaches
right?
and like just a handful of lings against that army, which that army would have easily bowled through those morphing spine crawlers, and I think put on some reasonable damage. Especially since there's a mothership core, there wasn't too much harm in trying. But looks like Trap is just going to go into a very safe third base.
All right. Yeah, I mean, Trap's in great shape right now. The Zerg should be a little bit ahead in supply. You know, has the Zerg not been attacked here?
Yeah.
There's a point in time where the Zerg can be usually over 150.
Yeah.
Sometimes even over
Definitely.
160, and then pop right up to getting maxed out. Sometimes you're already maxed out, and they start just...
Depending on the build, yeah.
Yeah, running over the Protoss, but the Protoss was pretty aggressive and did a good amount of damage, so...
Now, Trap is going to have to make sure he keeps his macro really up to par here because KangHo's making a lot of Corruptors. And when you see this many Corruptors being made, this is actually going to bring up to 9. Normally, this means that they're going to come in with an attack, try to take out your Colossus, and overwhelm you with Ling Roach Hydra. So that's something that Trap has to be very, very careful about. But he is getting Blink, and he is getting +2, so that's really going to give his army a lot more staying power, even if the Colossus are dead.
All right, nice pickups here on these drones. And again, these are just these small little things that begin to add up. You know, the Phoenixes are such nimble units, they can just get out after dealing all their damage. And there's really not a lot Zerg can do to deny it.
That's true.
I mean, even if you covered every inch of your base with Spore Crawlers, then you've already wasted some money. Probably more money than you would have if you had lost something.
Yeah.
All right, it looks like Trap's going to push out now. Zerg does have superior supply, but that's pretty normal for how this game's been going so far.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to move some spines over. The spines are, looks like they're going to move over in time here. I think this is the one time that may be a little bit dangerous because right now KangHo is actually getting his units all together. He has a pretty sizable force of Hydras mixed in here. If he can pick up those Colossus, it's going to be a huge deal.
All right, and it looks like he's coming over here now with these Corruptors. Nice Time Warp.
Really nice play with 4 Colossus and Time Warps down. He's going to fry all these Hydras.
Melting these Hydras, yeah, and continuing to push forward now. And at this point in time, the Colossi have already done their job. And this means the 4th base is going to go down. More Stalkers coming in here now. Now, when you're this ahead of the Zerg, it's pretty easy to just blink away any weaker Stalkers and just win overall in the battle.
Yeah, I'd be surprised
and that's what he's going to do right here.
This.
Yeah.
He has a lot of units producing right now, but that is a ton of Stalkers with +2 and blink. He takes out that last Colossus, but the splash damage, frankly, isn't needed anymore.
All right, this is it. Yeah, this is going to be GG. Well played there by Trap. Trap slayed him, man.
Yeah, he did. Well, that's exactly what I was talking about before. Like, Trap will attack you with something very sharp, well controlled, and I feel like that is Lucira's big, big weakness.
Yeah, I got to agree with that. Well, Trap's looking great.
Yeah, well, you know,
to see if KangHo can do anything else coming in here.
He killed so many drones early on that KangHo already was well behind.
Yeah.
And if you lose that many drones and you're trying to fight back and you're trying to go like Roach Hydra Corruptor, that's going to be even harder, I feel, you know?
Here we have the IM coach in here, giving him a pep talk. IM coach actually a very good coach, by the way.
Yep.
Takes care of his players. But right now, KangHo just looks a little bit distraught.
Well, he just kind of got owned, man. He didn't have any units when that Zolid attack came.
Yeah.
Losing like 15 drones that early in the game, ew.
Icky, ew.
Yeah, and that's a map that if he can just not take damage early on, he can actually get into a pretty good position on.
Our next map's going to be Whirlwind.
All right.
So that's a map that Zerg can definitely win on. So lucky for KangHo here, but then again, he has to win not just this game, but the one after this, assuming he gets that far.
I think
that's a pretty tall order.
I think Trap's going to bust out a really strong 2-base all-in, whether it's like a 7-gate +1, maybe a Immortal Double Colossus all-in, something like that, because I don't know, I think about Trap's different styles that he plays, and I don't think Whirlwind is a good map for him.
Yeah. What do you think he does exactly?
I think it's going to be a 2-base all-in. Probably, maybe he's going to open like that again with the Phoenixes, but go into quick robo with Immortals and Colossus.
Nexus and cancel. Yeah.
I think
that could be for sure.
I think that would be my pick for him to give him the best chance of winning here against KangHo.
I think you're right. Well, we'll see. The truth is that Protoss just really can't go into the late game here and win. It's just too easy for Zerg to expand. It's too easy for Zerg to counter. It's a Zerg map.
You gotta almost play whack-a-mole with their expansions if it does get into
that late game. It's like Zerg squared.
Yes.
Yeah. Zerg cubed.
Well, Protoss has to be quadruple tasteless. Pylons on all the corners.
What? This is where I hit this button and you just fall through the floor. Like, ah!
Oh, please.